it accelerates the rate of the reaction. It accelerates the rate of the reaction. So enzymes acts as a biological catalyst and decreases the activation energy and accelerates the rate of the reaction, and participate in the mechanism of the reaction by transferring electrons and hydrogens. After the completion of the reaction, after the formation of product, enzymes will return to its original state, and they can be participate or reused in the same similar reactions. So this is the beauty of enzyme. So next I want to explain you about enzyme inhibition. Enzyme inhibition. What is enzyme inhibition? So you already know about enzyme has some function, their own functions, right? They'll participate in biochemical reactions as a catalyst. Okay, they have some activity, they have some functions, right? So if you stop that function, or if you decrease that function, that activity, that is called inhibition. Inhibition means stop the activity or function of enzyme. Okay, so whatever stop or inhibit the function of enzymes can be called inhibitors. Inhibitors. Okay, an inhibitor is a substance, a chemical substance which stops the function of a specific enzyme, or which stops the activity of enzyme, can be called as inhibitors. Okay, so most of the drugs can inhibit the enzyme functions, right? So as I said in the classification of drugs, I gave you one example: alpha glucosidase inhibitors and topoisomerase inhibitors. That means they inhibit the function of alpha glucosidase enzyme. They inhibit the function of topoisomerase. So you should know what is the function of those kind of enzymes. Okay, so how it inhibits? What are the types of inhibitions? Enzyme inhibitions can be reversible inhibition, and irreversible inhibition. Irreversible inhibition. There are two types of inhibitions are there. One is reversible inhibition, another one is irreversible inhibition. I'll explain you clearly about reversible inhibition and irreversible inhibition. Okay, first reversible inhibition. Reversible inhibition. Reversible inhibition means, suppose E stands for enzyme, it interacts with the substrate. S stands for substrate, and forms enzyme substrate complex as an intermediate, and finally substrate will become product, enzyme product, and in the final stage enzyme and product will be separated. In the final stage enzyme and product will be separated. Okay, first enzyme interacts with the substrate in its active site, and it forms enzyme substrate complex. Okay, and after some time substrate will convert it to product, enzyme product complex, then finally enzyme and product will be separated. Enzyme will return to its original state and product will be released. So this is the reversible inhibition. Reversible inhibition means this is possible to the forward and the backward. Okay, enzyme substrate can form enzyme substrate complex, and at the same time they can be come back as an enzyme and substrate. Okay, reversible inhibition means it move forward or it move backward. Okay, so on the basis of concentration and different criteria, right? So in reversible inhibition, what happened, there are some kinds of reversible inhibitions. One is competitive inhibition. And the second one is non-competitive inhibition. The third one is uncompetitive inhibition. Okay, in reversible inhibition, these are the three types of inhibitions takes place. One is competitive inhibition, another one is non-competitive inhibition, and the third one is uncompetitive inhibition. So what is competitive inhibition? I'll explain you. In competitive inhibition, so there is a competition between substrate and inhibitor, okay, to approach the active site of an enzyme. Okay, so whichever first comes and occupy the active site of enzyme, they have their own effect, right? So there is a competition between substrate as well as inhibitor. Okay, so based on the concentration they can compete with each other. Okay, there is a competition for enzyme active site. Suppose this is the enzyme active site. This is the substrate. This is the inhibitor. Okay, so this is the drug, nothing but drug. This is the substrate. This is S and this is I. So there is one active site in this enzyme. Okay, so there is a competition between substrate and enzyme. So whichever concentration is more, they can occupy the active site of an enzyme. Okay, so there is a competition, right? Okay, suppose substrate will come and takes place in the active site of an enzyme. It forms enzyme substrate complex. Okay, suppose inhibitor comes and occupy this place. So this does not allow the substrate into the active site of an enzyme. Okay. So in a competitive inhibitors means inhibitor compete with the substrate. So based on the concentration and approach to the active site, so whichever occupy the active site first, so they will not allow the other one. Okay, there is a competition, huge competition between substrate and inhibition. What about non-competitive inhibition? So in competitive inhibition, it depends upon the concentration. If substrate concentration is more, then the inhibitor keep away, keep outside. Okay, so the reaction goes forward. Suppose the inhibitor concentration is more and it takes place enzyme active site and it does not allow the substrate into the enzyme active site. That's what happened. So in non-competitive active inhibition, so this is allosteric, allosteric, allosteric part of an enzyme. This is active site. Okay, above is the active site. So now in this non-competitive inhibition, what happens? So there is a this is inhibitor, this is substrate. Okay, and it forms okay, this is enzyme, substrate, inhibitor, intermediate. Okay, enzyme, substrate and inhibitor. Okay, so here there is a non-competition. Either enzyme first bind with the inhibitor or substrate, doesn't matter. Okay, so finally enzyme, substrate and inhibitor complex will be formed in this. So enzyme, substrate and inhibitor complex will be formed in this non-competitive inhibition. Okay, once inhibitor bind to this enzyme through allosteric position, so it slowly affect on the substrate enzymatic reaction, substrate and enzymate active site reaction. It affects this reaction, and it may decrease the rate of the reaction, or it may change the active site position. That's how it can inhibit the function of this enzyme. That's how it can inhibit the function of that enzyme, particular enzyme. So in this non-competitive inhibition, there is no competition. Either inhibitor can bind to the enzyme first, or substrate can bind to the active site first. Okay, whatever it may be, first it binds it and the second it will bind. First it binds and second it will bind. Okay, so anyway, so finally ESI complex, enzyme, substrate, inhibitor complex will be formed. This kind of inhibition, this drug or inhibitor can inhibit the function of this particular enzyme. Okay, So this is about non-competitive inhibition, and I'll suppose enzyme plus substrate, enzyme substrate complex, enzyme substrate will enzyme product complex, finally enzyme and plus product will release. Okay, in this enzyme and inhibitor also forms EI, enzyme inhibitor complex, and it ESI. Okay, both the way possible. Enzyme and substrate will form first enzyme substrate complex, and after enzyme substrate complex, inhibitor binds and enzyme substrate inhibitor complex will be formed. Or this is one way. The other way, enzyme first bind to the inhibitor and forms enzyme inhibitor complex. In the second stage, it binds to the substrate and forms enzyme substrate inhibitor complex. Okay, so this is about non-competitive inhibition. So finally, the third one is uncompetitive inhibition. Uncompetitive inhibition. Uncompetitive inhibition. So there is a slight difference between non-competitive and uncompetitive inhibition. In uncompetitive inhibition, enzyme must form complex with substrate. Then only it binds with the inhibitor and forms enzyme substrate inhibitor complex. So this way it is not possible in uncompetitive inhibitor. That means enzyme always first interacts with the or binds with the substrate, forms enzyme substrate complex. After that, it can bind with the inhibitor at allosteric position and forms enzyme substrate inhibition complex. Okay, so that is how it inhibits the enzyme activity or enzyme function. Okay, so that is the slight difference. In non-competitive inhibition, there are two ways possible. Enzyme either first interacts with bind with the substrate or binds with the inhibitor. So in both the way, it will finally it forms enzyme substrate inhibitor complex. But in uncompetitive inhibition, this way is not possible. Enzyme always first binds with the substrate and forms enzyme substrate complex, and finally after that inhibitor can bind to the enzyme substrate complex and forms enzyme substrate inhibitor complex. That's how these inhibitors inhibit the function of the particular enzyme. So these are the types of reversible inhibition, enzyme inhibition, reversible inhibition. In reversible inhibition, the bonds formed between, there is no chemical bonds formed in between amino acid residues functional groups and substrate or inhibitors. Okay, so there is no formation of chemical bond in reversible inhibition. Okay, but whereas there is a chemical bond, a covalent bond formed in between enzyme active site amino acid functional groups and inhibitors. Okay, in inhibitors. Okay, so therefore in irreversible inhibition, the reaction move forwards it does not come back. So that is the difference between reversible inhibition and irreversible inhibition. In irreversible inhibition, irreversible inhibition inhibition, enzyme forms or binds with the inhibitor and forms enzyme inhibitor complex. Okay, so here covalent bond forms permanently. Covalent bond forms permanently, so that the reaction will not take backward, it moves only forward. Okay, sorry, I should not write like this, arrow mark should be one way. Okay, so that is about irreversible inhibition. So that means this is an enzyme and active site, so this is the inhibitor and it forms enzyme inhibitor complex. This is only one way, it will not come back. So why it will not come back? Because it forms covalent bond in between active site functional groups, amino acid functional groups, and inhibitor functional group. Generally, inhibitor has electrophilic compounds or functional groups like aldehydes, alkenes, okay, alkenes, and in enzyme active site amino acids has nucleophilic sites. So electrophilic site will come and interact with the nucleophilic site, and in between electrophile and nucleophile, so there is a permanent covalent bond will be formed. That's how this reaction will not come back or will not return. So there is no forward and backward reaction, it is only forward reaction. So that is called irreversible inhibition. So these inhibitors binds with the enzyme active site and permanently by forming covalent bonds, it will not come back, as we see reversible inhibitions. In reversible inhibitions, what happens? It can move forward, it can come backward, because in between inhibitor and enzyme active site there is no chemical bond formation, only interactions takes place, like electrostatic interactions, hydrogen bonding interactions, hydrophobic interactions, okay, van der Waal interactions. So these kind of interactions takes place, but they are temporarily. Okay, after they can be removed by dilution. Okay, so that's what happened in irreversible inhibition and reversible inhibition. And in irreversible inhibition, it is different case, it is entirely opposite to the reversible inhibition. Okay, so these are the types of enzyme inhibitions and its types. So just I want to remind you again, enzyme inhibition is nothing but stopping the particular enzyme activity or function by designing suitable drugs as inhibitors. Okay, so that the pharmacological effects will be changed. So that's what happens. Okay, so enzyme inhibition is very, very important. So majority of the drugs targets the enzymes, so they can be useful, they can be considered useful drugs when they target enzymes, right? So particular enzymes, as I mentioned, alpha glucosidase inhibitors, that means the drugs which can bind with the alpha glucosidase enzyme in its active site, and it stops the function of alpha glucosidase. Topoisomerase inhibitors means, so the drugs which binds with the topoisomerase active site and inhibit the function of topoisomerase or stop the function of topoisomerase. So that is about enzyme inhibition and its types. Okay, finally I want to remind you and stop today's class, and I'll continue in the next class. Okay, enzyme inhibition can be divided into two types: reversible inhibition and irreversible inhibition. Reversible inhibition, enzyme interacts with the or binds with the inhibitor, and it can move forward, it can come backward based on the concentration. In reversible inhibition, there are again three types. One is competitive inhibition, and non-competitive inhibition, and uncompetitive inhibition. In competitive inhibition, there is a competition between inhibitor and substrate. And a non-competitive inhibitor, so both the ways are possible. Enzyme active site or enzyme first reacts with the substrate or inhibitor, and they can form the corresponding enzyme and inhibitor or substrate complex. After that it binds with the other one, so that finally enzyme substrate inhibitor complex will be formed. That's how inhibitor stops the function of in that mechanism. In uncompetitive inhibition, so first in uncompetitive inhibition, always first enzyme binds with the substrate, forms enzyme substrate complex, then it binds with the inhibitor, then enzyme substrate inhibitor complex will be formed. That's how the inhibitor can stop the function of that particular enzyme. Okay, so I hope you will learn about classification of drugs and enzyme inhibition and its types. Okay, so I'll continue in the next class the remaining syllabus. Thank you so much. Bye.